Friends, thank you for subscribing to our channel. We just reached over 100 subscribers this past couple weeks. Thank you for letting us be your go-to source for immigration news and tips. We love sharing content with you at free value. Now, today, I do have 5 tips to share with you when you prepare your travel, if you go visiting family and friends across the country, and that is how to avoid border checkpoints, and also what to do if you do show up at a border checkpoint. Now, these tips are helpful for US citizens as well in knowing what your rights are. Now, to give you an idea here, I'm going to show you a map of the Border Protection's authority to have a temporary or a permanent checkpoint within 100 miles of the US-Mexico border or the US-Canada border. Now, please watch the video all the way to the end. You're going to want to listen to all the tips. Now, number 1, if an agent asks you for documents, the answer depends on your immigration status. Now, US citizens do not have to carry proof of their status. It would be unreasonable to have to carry your US certificate or naturalization certificate or even your passport if you haven't expected to leave the United States. If you do actually have some kind of documentation with you, sure, go ahead and provide it. Nothing would hurt you to provide it to them. So it would really expedite the process. But are you required to provide it? No, you're not. Usually providing your driver license, if that's all you have, is likely good enough, because for an immigrant to have a driver license, at least in Texas, you have to have proof even with a temporary visa, or that that you've been approved for a work permit. Now, if you're an immigrant here without status, that meaning no visa, no work permit, then you still can decline to answer the agent's question, because of course, if you do say, sure, I'm not from here, I don't have any status, of course, they're going to detain you automatically. But you do have the right to not answer their question. Tip number 2, do not provide any false documents. Don't provide a fake social security number, fake driver license, or fake green card, nothing like that. If you're an immigrant, even with residence status, do not claim to be a US citizen, because that is a bar to obtaining immigration status in the future. Tip number 3, you do have the right to remain silent, because of course anything you say will be used against you. Now, it's different than Miranda rights in a way that, because anytime a cop says Miranda rights, that's when you know that you're going to be arrested. Tip number 4, border checkpoint stops are meant to be brief, okay? It's not supposed to take a long time. The Supreme Court actually answered this question. All that's required is a response to a brief question or 2, and possibly providing documentation of your legal status in America, as we mentioned before. Now, tip number 5, you are allowed to record your encounter with the Border Patrol agents. And you can also request identifying information. They're basically the badge number or name. Tip number 6, agents cannot search your vehicle unless they have probable cause. And probable cause meaning that they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is happening, or that you have given them consent. For me personally, I would not give consent at all. But if it's just quicker for you and you absolutely know there's nothing no drugs, no weapons, nothing illegal, no illegal possessions in your vehicle, then sure, you likely will probably say, go ahead, search my car. But of course, that will take more time. I'm sharing this with you because you do have the right to deny the agent's request to search your car. Now, bonus tip number 7, do not flee a checkpoint. It is a felony if you do flee a checkpoint. Just thought you should know that. Thank you very much for listening all the way to the end. We have a Facebook group called Immigrant Support and Guide Living in America. The link to the Facebook group is down below. It's really a community where everyone shares tips and resources on how to get acclimated to living in America. For example, what is a real estate agent? Things like that. So please go ahead and join the group. Now, I'm sharing these tips with you and really to share know your rights tips, because we have several clients that have called us, whether they've gone through the border checkpoint through Arizona or New Mexico or even Texas. So even during the pandemic, we're able to help clients when they're detained in El Paso or other detention facilities near the border. I hope this video will help others to avoid these checkpoints, or at least know what to do if you do have legal status. Now, if you don't have legal status to live in America, I really recommend you check out the Google Maps website down below, because they do have a layer to show all the different checkpoints. Now, Google may not have covered every single checkpoint. So the best thing to keep in mind is to avoid driving through the border within 100 miles of the border. Many people do not realize that the Custom Border Protection do have authority to set up even a temporary checkpoint within 100 miles of the border. And sometimes it's even past 100 miles. And we have to call the government out on this. And so that's why it's important to let us know if you're aware of that. We do have a couple more tips, but we're going to leave them in the description below. This video is meant to be quick. We want to say thank you very much again for subscribing to our channel. If you are new to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Share the video, our channel, to your friends, whoever you think would gain value from. Please answer our question below if you like turkey or ham. And last but not least, happy Thanksgiving. And until next time, please continue wearing your mask.